Live from the City of Angels, it's Sunday morning, breaking box office in our first big film in the marketplace in forever, really since Moana 2. This is the 35th straight time that Marvel has taken number one at the box office with a debut of here, $88.5 million for Captain America Brave New World. You're looking at a 4-day with President's Day tomorrow at $100 million. Now, we're going to break this down. You can see Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline. They're all saying, hey, it's bullish. It's great. You look at the global number of 192 on this. But remember, 2 years ago, we had Ant-Man 3. In a second, I'm going to show you the difference between the two films. This is why you're with, a reminder, everybody, the gold standard. MMT doesn't play games. We're objective, and we're always dead center on the cut. And I'll tell you what, here's the deal. This is not a bomb, obviously. Guys, at $88.5 million, that's not Marvel's number of $40-some million, right? This, though, is a Captain America film. So it should be higher even without Chris Evans, just based on the character, right? If they recast Tom Holland and Spider-Man, yeah, you're going to drop a little bit, I imagine, but you're going to see still the numbers not nearly as divergent as we are here with Marvel, who is in trouble. I mean, there's no other way to put it, even with this not being an incredibly underwhelming debut. But look, let's just go under the hood, and then I'm going to compare it to Ant-Man 3 to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This is what we do. We're better than the rest. No contest. Domestic weekend, $88.5 million. That's the 3-day, right? And then they get that $100 million for the 4-day, and that's the one they like to trumpet. That's the one they want you to talk about because it sounds better, right? We hit the century mark. So even if it doesn't hit the century mark, because remember, we still have to wait for the actual to come in for today and for Monday, right now they can run with that $100 million number and get all that PR going for the film. As you look here, global weekend, 180.9 for the 3-day, 192.4 again for that 4-day. Rotten Tomatoes is at 80%, which is okay, right? It's not terrible. But that B- cinema score is where the problem comes in. As we look at this film over the long haul, I'll talk about that in a minute, but basically bad word of mouth, even though the post-track numbers are good. So whoever went to see it with cinema score, they were pissed. They wanted more Evans and less Mackie, or just not another Captain America. Just let that character go and then create a new one. But either way, let's break down, and then I'm going to give you Ant-Man, and I'll tell you what's going on here. Here we go. So the two-dimensional is 86% of the box office. So you look at that. That includes PLF, IMAX, Motion, ScreenX. 3D was only 14%. It's just not a preferred format anymore, right? We had that 3D resurgence back in 2011, 12, 13, right in that range when we had Great Gatsby. We had, what else? My Bloody Valentine 3D. We also had Dread 3D, oh my God, and Prometheus, which if you didn't have a chance to see that film in 3D, wow, you missed out. That was shot in 3D, right? Organic, like Great Gatsby. Those films looked unbelievable. It's not like the 3D now where they slap it on in post. They actually said, we're going to make this thing with 3D cameras, and the difference was night and day compared to what it is now. Male, 63, female, 37. That's the problem, right? There's no female superhero here. But we saw a bunch of female superheroes in the Marvels, and that didn't go so well for the MCU. Under 12, 4%, 13 to 17, 8%, 18 to 24, 20%, 25, 34, 23%, 35, 44, 20%. And you can see, I mean, it's skewing a little bit older, right? The old school comic book fans of Captain America, but it's not bad. The demos are kind of all over the place. Not bad. Let's go to IMAX, and then I'll get into the global numbers quickly. IMAX, 18 million through Monday. That's 16 million through today. So they add another 2 for tomorrow. 1,500 screens, 82 markets. In North America, IMAX screens yield 9.2 million through Sunday. 10.5 through Monday is what they're thinking. Territories here, the number one territory, China. We're going to talk about a Chinese film here in a minute. That is the record holder for the most amount of cash in one country. That debuted at number 5 this weekend. Get to that in a minute. But China, number 1. It does have the release there, 10.5 million. UK, 8.5. Mexico, 6.6. Korea, 5.6. France, 4.7. Australia, 3.8. Brazil, 3.6. Germany, 3.2. And then down the list we go. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. Okay, remember, we just talked about this. Let's go back and look at it. You guys can see the number here, 192.4 million for the 4-day weekend for Brave New World. I'm going to bring you back 2 years ago to this email from Disney, and I want you to pay attention to the number you see right there, highlighted in blue. It might be gray on your screen. You can see it, 239.3 million. That is what Ant-Man 3 launched to for the 4-day presidential weekend back in 2023. Let me just show you what the math is on that, because I did it right before we started. Minus 46.9 million on the worldwide debut. This is where I'm going to do it. I got it. I'm going to break it out. I'm going to break out the whooping stick, and we're going to smack. Yes, we have to. Grace Randolph. She's not doing this. She can do her movie math all fucking day. She's not doing what we just did. And this is live. I'm not taping it. I don't have it all in teleprompter. This shit's done on the spur of the moment. That's how quick we operate here at MMT. The other night, got that B- cinema score. We were up on the air within like 7 minutes when I got it. I don't need time. We just go. Okay? That's what makes us better. And this is what I'm talking about. Minus $47 million versus Ant-Man 3. So you're asking me, is the MCU in trouble versus 2 years ago? Well, I mean, hello? Minus $47 million worldwide. That's not a minor number. That's a significant chunk of cash that is absent here with this film. Also, important to note, too, let's see, I think, did it get China? Let me go back. This email... Yeah, it did have China, but look at the difference. Okay, here we go. Let's just go back to the email from there. Look at the difference. China at 19.2 million for Ant-Man, and we go back and we said, what was it? 10 million? 10 million here for Brave New World. So half. China's roughly double on Ant-Man 3. See? That's why we're better. Now, as for the remainder of what's going to happen with this film, this is the issue, right? The issue here is very clearly that word of mouth is going to be a problem, okay? When you get the lowest cinema score ever, word of mouth, on a film in the MCU, you've got to be majorly concerned about this film going forward in successive weekends. The good news is there's nothing big coming in next weekend. The Monkey... really not an issue, okay? But the problem is not the competition. It's, does the audience care beyond opening weekend, right? The reason you saw Deadpool Wolverine continue to slay, A, it was in the summer. That always helps. But B, it's a much better film. Much more entertaining film. Audiences love Deadpool Wolverine. So when you look at this film on a long-term play, it's in trouble. Clearly, we'll watch it over the next couple weekends. But look, I've already done the research again, just so you know, you're ready for what happened to Ant-Man 3 on its second weekend. Let's roll back to 2023, minus 69.9%. So if Ant-Man 3 dropped almost, let's call it 70%, you know, Captain America with a lower cinema score, it's going to be a very similar number. So Disney feels decent today, but trust me, behind the scenes, if we had them on with the magic lasso compelling them to tell the truth, they'd be like, we're scared shitless going forward. And they should be, because as I just explained to you, this long-term has major issues. Paddington in Peru is your number 2 film, 13 million, 16 million on the 4-day. This film is already nearly $130 million worldwide as it opened overseas weeks ago. finally hits the States, and you're asking how it compared to Paddington 2. Paddington 2 was an 11 million debut, so we're in the same ballpark. Saw the film last night. It's not nearly as great as the first two, but it's not bad. And I think audiences and families especially will enjoy the film. They seemed to last night when I was watching it. We'll have that breakdown, the MMT evaluation tonight, live on the Sunday Night Spectacular. I think I want to talk about this next. It's Heart Eyes. This film went up 20%. I mean, when you talk about a film that doesn't, you don't see this ever, okay? The only time that you see something like this happen is over the holidays. You look at A Greatest Showman, went from weekend number 1 to weekend 2 building, but up 20%. Here's what happened, right? Sony nailed the release date. We're going to drop it the week before Valentine's Day, and then you make that opening of 8+ million. And then we're going to have it in theaters for Valentine's Day, and there really wasn't an option for people like, let's just go see a goof horror film. I do not like the film, but I'm really obviously high on Sony nailing this because it's up 20% with 10 million this weekend. Can you remember, this isn't going to happen again anytime soon, okay? Films always drop. I mean, a good drop's -10. This is +20. Okay, so we're plus 30% better than a good drop. That's how insane this is. This is a very rare occurrence. So remember here this weekend that Heart Eyes pulled that off. Dogman is number 4 at 9.7 million for the 3-day, 12.5 million for the 4-day. This film's just a shade under 70 million stateside. I thought it could go higher. One thing to notice about all of these films this weekend, when we look at the top 10, they all held well. A lot of folks going to cinemas this weekend, and that is encouraging, even if the next several weeks are discouraging, because we just don't have those tent poles, those big event films like we just had this weekend. And as such, we'll probably falter a bit. I imagine The Monkey will actually outperform a bit for Neon, even though that's a film I think I like even less than Heart Eyes. Number 5 is Ne Zha 2. You're saying, what is that? It is China's number 1 film of all time. Look here. It holds the record for the highest grossing movie all time in a single market with 1.4 billion in China alone. And that's only in like 2.5 weeks of release there. Okay, so this doesn't include this weekend's numbers. I'll get those later. But this film opened number 5 here. It's, again, an animated blockbuster loosely based on Chinese mythology, and it was number 5 with 7.2 million. But in case you had no idea what Ne Zha 2 is, number 1 film of all time in any one market with $1.4 billion. Let's get to the top 10, courtesy of ComScore. Thank you for sending me this chart. Always makes this a lot easier than if I had to run them down myself. Captain America, number 1 at 88.5 million. If you missed some of the early stream here, go back and watch. I break it down as best as anybody can. Nobody does it better. 21,500 per location. That's a strong number. I mean, remember we talked about this. Whenever your number 1 film's up in the 20,000s, that's good for multiplexes. That's good for Regal, AMC, Cinemark, all the chains. People were at movies this weekend. Whether you hate the film or not, here's the deal. Okay, even if you're the most anti-woke, I can't stand Mackie, you need to celebrate the fact that these films are bringing people into the theaters, helping out with bringing those movies back. Now we just need to enact the theatrical window. It's got to come, right? We need at least a 45, 60-day window. That's what I want. Of course you want a 90. We're not going to get that. 45, 60 is the best we can do right now. Put me in charge. I'll have it done on Tuesday. Easy. Phone call will be made Tuesday morning. It'll get done Tuesday morning. I'm not going to mess around. Guys, I'm going to talk just how I'm talking to you right now. Here's what we're going to do. You get a 45-day window. Do you hear me? Paramount, Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney. Do you hear me? That's it. Got it? Click. Okay, end of discussion. There's no negotiations here. Okay? Call me the Trump. He's the Trump of the movie space. No, that's why he's so bad. Weber's the worst. Paddington in Peru, number 2, 13 million again on the 3-day, 4 days going to be 16. Heart Eyes is number 3, up 20%. I mean, it's always a minus in this category. Unless, like I said, a couple films, look at Mufasa and One of Them Days, up 4%. But up 20%, pretty crazy. Okay. So that is really a cool occurrence here on this Sunday morning. Dogman, as I mentioned, 66.8 million only on the domestic. It's a better, I like Dogman. It's funny. I enjoyed it. For a family movie, it's exactly what you want, especially for little kids. They're totally going to be into that. And then we have Neza, as I mentioned, in 7.2 million. That was 10,900 per location. That's really good. Only 660 screens. Did really well where you expect. New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, right? Where there is a large Chinese population. Any major city. And that in Boston, those cities all had strong numbers on this Neza. I might check it out. I got 2 more A-lists to burn this week. So maybe, although if the runtime's long, that's always where I'm just like, yeah, I think I'll pass. I'm now at like an hour and 45. Anything over that, it's got to be a major film or I'm just going to skip. Sorry, it's just where I am. I have no patience at the moment. Let's see what I mentioned. Hard Eyes is 6. Let's go back to the list. I was looking at Deadline's list. Then we got Love Hurts. That was down 25%. Good hold for that film. Again, that works for Valentine's Day. Love Hurts. Hello. Even though I've heard the movie's bad. I didn't see it. That is another nice release date, although it's only at 12 million for Universal. Good God. That was doomed from day one. Who thought Quan, let's put him in an action film like a nobody? It's just stupid. I'm telling you, a lot of these times when you see these trailers, the Jack Quaid one's coming up, the Rami Malek one, who's greenlighting this shit? I mean, I'm so over the actioner, right? Oh, here they come with guns and they're going to run around, shoot the bad guy. How many times have we seen that? John Wick's enough. I don't need to see that every other week, like Ballerina. We've seen this shit, okay? John Wick did it better. The Ray did it better than any of them. But you know what I'm saying. It's like, this is not interesting. Hollywood, take chances on different things, okay? It's certainly better than watching the same old beta male turns aggressive assassin tale that we've seen, this trope. Good fucking God. So tired of that shit. Mufasa, Lion King, again, up 4%. One of Them Days, up 4%. In number 8, it now has 43.5 million. We're going to get a One of Them Days, too. I didn't see it. I don't want to see it. It's not my movie. I don't want to see that movie. It's not what I want to watch. I don't like annoying comedies. Okay. And by the way, it has nothing to do with race. I would not want to watch. I didn't see, what was the one? Blockers. Okay. That wasn't it. I don't want to watch that shit. It's not funny. The Monkey tries to be a comedy. It's the worst thing. My God, The Monkey. It's horrible. Neons should be embarrassed. That film's fucking terrible. It's so bad. Wait till you guys see that. If you didn't get to see the previews, wait until you sit through that with the jokes. And oh my God, there's some scenes in that film where you're just going to be like, Weber was being too kind to this film. Fucking terrible. Hate that movie. Companions, number 9, and number 10 is Becoming Led Zeppelin. Companion, by the way, is only at 18.7 million, but I think worldwide closer to 30. It's going to turn a profit for New Line / Warner Brothers. That's good news. And then Becoming Led Zeppelin, a documentary that I liked, didn't love. It's not nearly as strong as the Bowie doc at 5.5 million. Couple comments before we get out of here on this Sunday morning. Thanks for being here. Breaking Box Office back tonight, because it's a Sunday Night Spectacular. I want to talk about Elon Musk. I really do. The man's a whore, isn't he? He is. He's a fucking whore. And I'm on X. Am I gonna get demonetized? Well, whatever. Who cares? I don't care. You're gonna take my stream away? Oh, I'm gonna cry. We'll go to Rumble. I'm not gonna worry about it. Second weekend will be just as bad. I mean, it won't be pretty because even the monkey, like I said, it doesn't matter. The competition is weak, but the film's even weaker. Did I call it at 88? Shit, did I? Hold on for a second. I think I didn't. I think I had it under that. I had it under. But, I think I had 88 for the 4. I was selling this thing short, but I appreciate you thinking I did. I nailed it, David. I try. Well, listen, we're usually in the ballpark. Sometimes we absolutely nail it. Thank you, Jason. Thanks for watching here today. Jason, Nosferatu's one. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm not a huge Nosferatu guy. What was the budget of Captain America? Well, the rumor was 180, but then people are saying 300 with reshoots and stuff and marketing. Remember, let's just take it at 180, 200. For me, it's a 2.5 multiple to be profitable. So 200 times 2.5 would end up at 500 million, right? So it's not going to get to 500 million. And again, look, we're here after one weekend. We're at 192.4. It's not getting to 500 million. It's not good enough. We talked about this before, that it has to be a good film in order to keep banking money over the next successive weekends. Deadpool Wolverine did that, right? Obviously, Endgame. Any great comic book movie is going to be okay on the long end, but the problem is most of these things aren't as good, certainly Marvel lately, and that's why we have drops. And I liked Ant-Man 3. You all hated it. But it was minus 70. So this film's in big trouble. Movie math. Okay. You can say that all day long, but we're better, okay? And just trust me. And again, I'm doing it live. I'm not scripting this and have 17 things to get through. Even though I did get through 17 things, would you rather have me have a list that I have to get through? No, you're just like, just shoot, bruh. Just go. The first Neza made over 700 million, so $1 billion. I'm not familiar with it, so it is what it is. I might see it, I might not. I do not want more hard eyes and fewer and monkeys. I want hell less of both. They're both almost the same movie. And listen, here's the thing though. Darkstalker, Nightwolf. I'll address this quickly. Mufasa's at nearly 700 million. Remember, Lion King 2019, 1.6 billion plus. So this is, come on, guys. What are we talking about? This is what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not a bomb, but it's nowhere near Lion King 2019. So if they're going to greenlight another Lion King, they have to know that people don't give a shit. Like, because 700. It's a money laundering scheme. But I'm just saying, you're just, I wouldn't do it. I just feel like we're done. Lion King needs to take a break. You need to take breaks. If you don't take a break, people don't regain interest. And I wonder how Jurassic World's going to do for that very reason. We just were there. But it seems bulletproof. People just love to watch the dinosaurs run amok. This time with ScarJo, so that's good. And then, so that's why these studios just keep cranking them out. Let's just stop the beta male turns angry assassin thing. Can we just, that's it. End it. The trope's dead. No more of those movies. No Nobody 2. None of it. I don't want to see any of them again. And let's stop. I'm not going to watch the Jack Quaid movie unless it's the only movie that weekend. And then the other one with Rami Malek. These films are dead. I mean, wow. Why are we doing this? I'll see you back here tonight. MMT Live. Sunday night, we'll talk about Elon being a whore. Well, I'm gonna get booted. And we're gonna talk about Blake Lively. We have to, because it has to do with movies. Elon doesn't, but who cares? I still want to go off because the whole thing that Ashley St. Clair, good God, what a grifter. I can't stand grifters. Grifters are the worst. They are the fucking worst. In my society, we're going to put grifters in jail for no fewer than 10 years. As soon as we determine you're a grifter, you're in jail. That means Gore's going to jail for 10 years. I'll see you back here tonight for the Sunday Night Spectacular. Peace out. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm off to play volleyball. Bye.